I do have to say this beforehand. This is not medical advice. This is my own personal account of my taper. Now, this is how I did things. It's not me recommending to you the length of your taper. This is how I did things. I was already in tolerance withdrawal and had been so for many years. I would do my taper quite quickly. I came back to the UK and I was on approximately 20 milligrams of Lorazepam daily. Now, I know those doses are very high, but that's because I could just purchase the medications from a pharmacy when I was living overseas. So I had no idea what tolerance withdrawal was. I just automatically kept taking more and more. My mind was in utter chaos. When I did come back to the UK, I bought enough medications with me to last what I thought would be 1 year, and I was constantly mega dosing. Many days I had no idea how many I was taking, but I was still functioning barely. And by then I knew I had to come off the medication. So I did start to taper myself. I went to a rehab clinic before that, recommended by my doctor. They were clueless about benzos. They tried to taper me off within 4 weeks, cutting my dose of Lorazepam by 5 milligrams every week. As you can imagine, my mind fractured. I suffered terrible derealisation and terrible depersonalisation. So I do understand where you may be when you're watching this. I then went back to the doctors and he told me not to go. And luckily my surgery had a doctor that knew about benzos. He agreed to put me onto a taper. And because I was already in tolerance withdrawal, I asked the doctor what was the fastest way I could do it and safely. Now, again, this is not medical advice for you. You have to speak to your doctor or your medical practitioner and develop a plan that works for you. Now, because I was already in tolerance withdrawal and I had managed to cut my doses down a little bit by myself, the doctor did switch me over onto Valium, diazepam, as it's a longer-acting benzo, so they can minimize the interdose withdrawals. He said that it would be safe for me to reduce my dose by 1 milligram of Valium every 2 weeks. So that is what I did. I started my taper on 30 milligrams of Valium. I was on a lot higher dose of Lorazepam, as they are between 10 to 20 times stronger than Valium. But I knew I had to get off the medications. I was a single parent, as I've mentioned to you before, and my days were very difficult. But I did do my taper very quickly. And I did complete my taper within 15 months. And I won't lie to you and tell you it was easy. It was the hardest thing I've ever went through in my life. And it was still quite difficult after that for quite a long time. I have never liked social media, but I did go onto Facebook and I found a benzo group. It was full of negativity, full of doubt. I made one post and I connected with a guy who was also just starting his taper, and we were both on 30 milligrams. And one and only post I did make, and I left the groups. They were just not my kind of thing. You'll notice in my videos, I will always be positive with you because that is what you need. We exchanged telephone numbers, we would send each other messages, and have the occasional phone call, but it wasn't very often. But having somebody to just share the experience with was helpful. Now, I did my taper very quickly, as I've told you, but the guy I was chatting with, he did a micro water taper, and I would complete my taper within 15 months, as I've said, and it would take him 4 years to complete his taper. And it was still very difficult for him, but he managed to do the things I talk about in my videos. He ate well. Unlike me, he was actually exercising too, which was of great benefit to him. When I finished my taper, it would still be very difficult for me for over 2 years after that. The guy I was talking to did his taper over a longer period of time. He didn't really go out that much because he was concentrating and focusing on his taper. He did his taper over a 4-year period, but as he got through his taper, his journey, he was healing as he was still coming off the medications. And the change in him was miraculous. Within a month, he was out riding his bicycle 20, 30 kilometers a day. And it's actually quite funny because we both started our tapers at the same time. I did mine quickly, he did his over a longer period, but we both started to heal at around about the same time. Now, I know this is not really much of an answer for you, but maybe it can help you to decide on what you want to do. My life now, as you know, is a life of calm. I don't have anxiety anymore. I don't have depression. And I existed in anxiety and depression. But after the nightmare of benzodiazepines and carrying on with my journey to healing, I have come to understand that once you get through the nightmare that you're facing now, life becomes undescribable. It really does. I can put myself back into the place I was 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a nightmare. I understand. And that's why I make these for you. But anyway, I just wanted to check in with you again. And if you can, let me know in the comments what kind of videos you're interested in, and I'll do my best to make them for you. Because I know what it's like to be where you are now. I know what it's like to feel like there is no hope that you're going to get through. But I know you will. I say it every time. I know you will. I existed in darkness for 50 years of my life. My life was hell. And it's through the simple structure and routine for my day I've managed to come through and get to a place I never thought possible. We can get through our days, practice on your self-care, practice on your breathing, be mindful of where you are. Because when you're watching this now, I know you're safe. I know your mind might be in a very dark place, but you will get through this. Your mind needs time to recalibrate and come back. Your mind needs balance. And sadly, with benzodiazepines, they block your natural calming abilities. Your receptors have been overwhelmed with benzodiazepines, and your mind needs time to recalibrate. So concentrate on your day. Make sure you keep yourself well hydrated. Eat the best foods you can. Try to stay away from processed food. We need to take care of ourselves the best we can during this time. And I want you to stay strong. And let me know in the comments what you'd like me to chat about if you have any topics that you're interested in. But you will get through this. you just keep fighting every single day and you never stop. You never give up. I didn't, and I'm here now.